lunch, or do I have to have my wife buy me lunch?
What? Who are you?
The question
Yeah,
is,
we're on. We're live.
there it is. That's the way to go.
What an adventure, everybody. Well, you know, if you're watching us, the good news is that this show is now being live streamed on YouTube. Also on Bakersfield.com. We've had a little change in video delivery. So Blake Bowser is already here with us from Auto Club Famoso Raceway.
That was me that walked in front of
President and General Manager,
Camera,
Supreme Lord Commander of the deal. And over there in the corner, the one, the only, Grumpy Griff. Michael.
Grumpy Griff.
Michael.
I left my wallet at home, so does that mean you're buying me lunch, or do I have to have my wife come buy me lunch? Uh-oh.
She's a public employee, so she's probably okay. I mean, you know, you guys both have public employee spouses, so you guys are probably okay. So,
They're the breadwinners.
Yeah, I already said,
breadwinners,
I see you're waffling. I already sent her a text message.
The insurance winners.
Can't
so.
put a price on that.
Can't. Yeah, exactly. Blake's here. There's a lot going on at most of this month. Actually, we got the
June's busy for us.
June's
Today's
really
June
busy.
1st, isn't it? That's
You're
right.
going to be up to about 3 a.m. this weekend.
We'll probably leave the track about 3.
3?
Yeah.
Saturday?
We're going to run 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. this Saturday night.
8 p.m. to 2 a.m.
That's the
Saturday
plan.
night.
If anybody shows, it's going to be 110 degrees. so we
Which
hope.
is pretty smart. Wait for the sun to go down.
What
Saturday.
will, the track temperature be like?
You know, we were just talking about that earlier. Air temperature, 110. Well, at night, though, it'll be 100 and it'll get down to 115, 120 on the track. It'll cool off below that.
A little bit.
We'll start off about that range. Usually we can add 25, 30, sometimes 35 degrees to the surface temperature, or whatever the air is. So if it's 110, we could be, pushing 150 degrees.
Yeah, that could be nice and toasty.
135 to 150 degrees.
Yeah.
So.
Think KCRP Saturday with nothing but surrounded by asphalt and concrete.
Right.
107.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be fun.
And
It's
the
gonna be
cars
fun.
will be doing a little sliding, but it'll make for exciting runs. So,
Well, listen,
racing.
don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, which is most of our stuff. Facebook, I just discovered, Griffith, that we have a video on Facebook that has 20,000 views. And it's Buddy Shepard, Blaine Perkins, and Steve Hughes just talking about...
That was the kind of the preview before
Yeah.
the first NASCAR West race. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe it got some shares or something with the NASCAR West
Somehow the
aspect.
Yeah, somehow the I kept getting these notifications because the Facebook changed, and I'm like, what is this video people keep liking? What I mean, because it's a preview from a while back, and I look, and sure enough, there it is, the 20-some thousand
Wow.
video views, almost as good as our
good.
fuel altered videos. So
Field altered.
fuel altereds are getting loose at times.
It was a racing weekend last weekend, wasn't it?
It was a racing weekend last weekend. If you're a racing fan, it had to have been one of the great weekends around. Although I guess that the NASCAR race is kind of boring.
It started with Monte Carlo,
The Monaco Grand Prix.
the Monaco Grand Prix. And
Did you
Monte
watch
Carlo.
it? It rained.
I
right?
actually watched a replay. I taped it. I didn't get up and watch it. I was once again doing things at that time, but I watched it, and it was a great race because of the rain
Yeah.
and the strategy. And it's probably not a good thing to make a pit stop and dive into the pits when in Formula One the only thing they do on pit stops is put on new tires, and so you go into the pits and the tires aren't there.
Right.
And that's what happened to Red Bull, who had a huge lead. Lewis Hamilton took the lead as you're sitting there waiting for the guys to bring the tires out
How
of
do you
the
not have
garage.
that? I mean, those guys those are multi-million dollar teams.
I don't know, but you're sitting there, and it was the funniest thing. The car was up there in the air, just waiting and waiting.
Waiting.
Here comes the
Jeez.
mechanics
Some guys
carrying
unemployed
the
this week, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
the tires. Could you imagine that in a NASCAR race? You pull in, they jack
No.
you up, and there's no tires.
No.
I was fascinated watching the pits at the Indy 500 about how they just throw those jacks.
Oh yeah.
They
air
just
jacks.
they just throw
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, the air. Yeah, the air.
And they have the
wrenches.
tire. They don't have that tire management problem like NASCAR has. We have to roll those tires. They sit that tire right next to the car, and it was really kind of
it
fascinating to
sits
watch.
right there. And so it started with Lewis Hamilton emerging with the win in Monaco, and I saw
Would that be a bucket
I saw
list?
a few yachts there that you might be able to
I
purchase
might be able
on
to
your
afford
salary.
those. Is that a bucket list place for you?
No, my bucket's not big enough to put even get into
If
a
I
casino
said
there.
if I said to you, you could go to the Monaco Grand Prix, would you go?
Are you paying?
I'd
yeah,
pay.
On whose budget?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd go.
Who wouldn't go?
Who wouldn't go?
Who wouldn't go? I mean,
You have a racing
Yeah.
bucket. You have a bucket list item thing you have not seen? That would be one.
That's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Have you been to all the? You've been to all the NHRA events? Or
I have not.
Have not.
I have not.
Was there one that you'd like to go to that you haven't been to? I like to see
Probably
that.
Englishtown. I haven't been to Englishtown. I like to go there because it's an kind of old school
Yeah.
feeling. The big tracks, the Chicago's and stuff, they're cool, but I've been to Vegas.
I would like to see that Bowling Green place. Where
that'd
lost last
be
year.
a fun one. I like the small venues
Yeah.
like that. So that to me is.
This was so cool
Englishtown.
how both stands are those covered stands down the sides. So be a part of the team. We're gonna have in this month alone from Famoso. We'll probably add at least a half dozen drivers because we have ANRA into the month, and then we have the Summit Series 2
weekend
days
before that.
Yeah,
Yep.
5 and 6 are coming up on June 18th and 19th, and then ANRA is the weekend after that, 25th and 26th. That'll be part of the Fast Trip All Area team. Looking forward to that coming up at the end of the year. And this was spotted, Griffith. I'm not sure what's going on here. Tom Mocked, who I've ignored for the last 24 to 48 hours. Unfortunately, I'm going to pay the price on that. I might be fed to his bird, but he
I was
shot
doing
that
a little videotaping of mini dwarfs for a deal I'm working on. So I went to the infield and did some different angles there.
That's the
and that would
speedway,
be
obviously. I see
going down looking at
dirt,
turn
right.
3.
So we're going to do a mini dwarf story. How's that coming along, by the way?
So talk to some mini dwarf drivers. Let us say that Kiersey Young
Yeah,
is a lady of few words.
a lady of few words.
Yes.
What about Chloe
She
Jones?
wins one. Chloe Jones is a lady of few words.
Well, maybe you scared
Josh
them.
Weiss
Yeah,
speaks. He's got a lot to say.
that's interesting. All right.
So
Well,
working
Mike,
on that.
it was the 100th anniversary of the Indianapolis 500 over the weekend. This Rossi kid basically managed his fuel really, really well. And actually, I'm glad that Blake's here because I put a photo in here for Blake.
Uh-oh.
It's not a jet dryer, but
No?
dogs on golf carts. You know
Yeah.
whose dog that is?
I don't know, but they allowed it at the Indy 500. Strange.
Yeah. That's Michael Andretti's dog.
Wow.
Oh.
I guess he had permission to be there.
The dog is like in every photo of the winning car with the Andretti and Rossi, who I guess became the first Californian since Rick Mears to win
And they'll say
Indy
that
title.
Rick Mears technically wasn't a Californian because he was born in Wichita, Kansas.
Is
And
that
they
right?
used place of birth,
Interesting.
even though he was here when he was young. So
Yeah.
he does not fall in line for a Californian to win that, although he was raised from a young child here and spent most of his life here.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the race?
Yeah, that was a great race. That was a great. Actually, I had watched the Indy Lights race too, and the Indy Lights race had a great finish, as this one was looking like it was going to be. But the fact that they've got whatever aero package and they're using on these Indy cars now works pretty well at Indianapolis for sure. But when you're running open wheel cars that close together, and these guys manage not to touch tires and wheels too often. They did in the pits. Had some incidences in the pits, but because it could be carnage on the racetrack. But this was a really pretty clean race. You had a few incidents. You're always going to have that with Indy cars. You know, they're on the fine line between fast and in the wall. But what a great race! Everything the race that followed later on was not.
No, the
And
NASCAR
that would be
race,
the
right.
NASCAR
Right.
race, where it could have lulled you to sleep. And this race was you had to watch it. I mean, it was racy, it was great. I'm sure the NASCAR ratings, I haven't looked, but I'm sure the NASCAR ratings are higher.
And it was a master of fuel management too. I mean,
And that happens sometimes. Casey Mears' only win came at the 600 on Memorial Day on a fuel mileage race.
right.
And so that happens. You didn't think this was going to happen. Everybody was talking about needing fuel because of the way the last pit stops were. You couldn't make it to the end, except Rossi, who was running in the back, drafting off of everybody he could, and went right into fuel management save mode because they knew they weren't even a threat to win.
All right, I think we're getting prompted here, but Chris wants us to move on to the true. This is Steve Hughes' favorite driver, Martin Truex Jr., who ran away with it over at the Coca-Cola 600.
Led all but like 12 miles or something.
Yeah. Harvick was second in the race, but basically he was left behind in someplace else. I mean, he was in Durham or something. I don't know where he was. He was
he
lost.
got fairly close, and then under a second, and then ended up being 2 or
Yeah.
3 seconds behind. But this guy dominated first win of the season, and good for them. They've come close a few times, had some bad luck, and a good win for him. But boy, it wasn't a.
Wasn't
could
it
not have
wasn't
been
watchable.
too
Wasn't a lot
appealing.
going on.
Yeah, wasn't a lot going on.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more. We're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on at Auto Club Formosa Raceway right after these messages.
Kern County Raceway is really cooking as we start racing in the month of June with Pit Barrel Cooker Night at the Races this Saturday night. NASCAR late models, NASCAR spec mods, NASCAR mini stocks, INEX legends, and the future stars of racing, the mini dwarfs. The original Pit Barrel Cooker, the official cooker of Kern County Raceway, sponsors a great night of racing action at KCRP. Grab your friends and family and get to the track for an amazing night of racing and family fun. Brought to you by Budweiser, Jimberg, Ford, and Coca-Cola.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores. Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, transportation, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly business journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Be a tiny bump.
All right, we're talking. This is where we get into the real details. A couple weeks ago, we talked about fruit, and it was interesting because actually Brian Richardson was in here. He says, "Well, if you think about it, it's okay to talk about fruit because fruit is actually funding a lot of drivers now. It used to be oil, but it's some of the fruit teams and probably some of the almond guys. Or do you have any
Grapes.
farmers that race?
Lots.
Lots of farmers, right?
Yes.
Who's the most notable farmer that you have in your and Matt's over here looking at us. He's probably got information. So you're not wearing shorts today, Matt. What's up with that? It's 115 degrees outside, and it's the first day I've not seen you wear shorts ever. Okay, all right.
I'm wearing
making sure.
mine, but I shouldn't be because my legs look like those walls right there. So, answer your question. Probably the closest one that I know, actually, I think he's out of Pixley, Neil Westbrook.
Yeah.
He's an almond farmer.
Almond farmer, right?
And every time he shows up, we talk about his harvest and how it's going, or how things are looking, and how the trees are blooming. But pretty much everyone's tied in somehow. Just depends on what we got people that sell products to him, or Butch, his whole family's Hedrick, his whole family's into farming.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Of course, you think about that.
all work.
You think about the history of racing. Rain for Rent, obviously, huge agricultural.
Huge tie-in there.
My old friend Larry Miner, is a potato farmer.
Yep.
And they have a
Yeah.
huge potato farming business. So it was McDonald's big client.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. So agriculture plays a big hand in motorsports.
Ag and oil still.
Ag and oil.
And that's unfortunately when one of those are down, we see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about a couple things for you. One, the reconstruction of the tower
Yes.
that burned down, and that's going to be done for the Hot Rod Reunion.
We're hoping it. I don't know if it'll be done. It'll be under
construction.
construction. We've been going through all the red tape. That building was erected in the 1970s.
Yeah. right.
And it fell like it. It fell completely down.
Right.
So, we're just going through all the red tape of getting everything approved and all the permits and stuff taken care of. And once that happens, we'll start construction. We're just waiting on the word go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So, but we're doing it right. Everything's going through all the permit process, which is what we have to do now. We're building a new structure
And
that's got a foundation.
I mean, we talked about this before, and I think we still owe you money for our thing. But I know we did. We're like Trump. We said,
Well,
we gave
we'll
you.
tie in the resurrection wall to that process.
Oh,
Once that
so
gets
if we're
going.
like Trump you're cutting him $1 million check.
Well, I mean,
so
a
there you
man
have it, Blank.
a man of our means, and I'm saying you and I
Louis
collectively,
Amistoy is cutting, not Mike Griffith.
I could build a little bigger tower than what we had with that kind of
we
money.
could build absolutely. We could find that. Did you have good
We could
response?
move your
though?
office out there.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, we did. I hate everyone jumped on it. In January, February, we haven't done anything with it yet. We just have to wait until we get everything approved, because it's got a foundation. We're going to have plumbing. We're going to have electrical coming out. We got to have everything. It's got to go through the permit process. So
We talked about that. We talked about it a little bit before, though. I mean, that whole response, though, from that community.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this numerous times in this show about
Yep.
the racing community, but did it surprise you, or did you kind of like they'll take care of us? I mean,
the fan response is what surprised me.
Yeah.
We loan stuff all the time to other racetracks,
Right.
and if they're low on a barrel of VHT, we'll run it over to them, or grease sweep. We do a lot of that. Now, obviously, it was escalated a lot more than we'd ever imagined or ever experienced before. But the fan response was huge. That surprised me.
Okay, right.
I just figured they got a big race. They can take care of that. And some fans think that, and that's fine. You can think what you want.
okay.
But a lot of fans really jumped in and said, "Here, we want to help out."
And they came through and they delivered,
Yeah.
and that's what's they mean. There's so much love for your facility.
It's not that doesn't belong to us.
Yeah,
It belongs
right.
to all of us.
Right.
I mean, we are just temporary.
You're caretakers.
We're caretakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sacred ground out
Yeah,
there.
right.
And we're just fortunate to be taking care of it right now.
Yeah.
But somebody else will be doing it someday, I'm sure. And we'll continue the tradition, hopefully. And that's just a place we got to take care of. Yeah. So that's how everybody views it. They come there and take care of it and respect it, and and everybody goes home and come back again and do it again.
All right, so this weekend we've got one of the street tuner events,
Yeah.
one of many, but this one will go deep into the night. It's $40 from your car down the quarter mile, and
or
what
eighth mile.
what's the
You choose it.
Yeah, you can pick quarter mile, eighth mile. You can say no time on your car, and we'll turn the clocks off for your runs in case you want to hide what your car runs.
Right.
If you want to do a little side bet out there in the pits, that's fine. We'll line you up.
Right.
So a lot of guys will do that. They'll come out and make a couple of runs with the clocks turned off so nobody sees it, and then they'll go find someone they want to run and have some fun with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what do you expect for this event?
Based on the phone calls we're getting, a pretty good fair amount of cars. I'm thinking maybe 150, 160 cars, which is doable.
Now
that makes it very doable.
This should basically prevent. I should be able to sleep peacefully Saturday night, and
knowing nobody else,
knowing
is
no one
out there
else will be going down
horseplaying.
Hageman.
Yeah, I
at
sure
about
hope so.
140 miles.
That's why
an
we're
hour.
doing this.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that street racing culture is still kind of out there in
it
some
is.
cases.
It
right?
is, and that's why we're doing this. You're fine going fast on the street if you want, but God forbid a car pulls out in front of you. That's where the danger happens.
Right.
Is it's not you. It's the car coming out that's obeying the laws. It is you ultimately, but they get a green light and they're coming out, and
Right.
you're hauling butt and you can't.
This makes
stop.
so much more sense.
It's a chance for you to do that and go as quick as you want. And if something does happen, we're going to be there within seconds to help you out.
Absolutely. Griffith, are you ready to run the Suburban down the quarter mile? I'll take you in my
No.
expedition.
No.
All right. So then
But
we
you
got
know what? Your daughter might want to. Maybe you can get Allison in like a Ferrari or Maserati or something. One of your friends.
Look,
and
It might be
she's
out
down
there.
she's
you can just
going-
jump in one, try
look,
it out.
Her education is going to cost like basically
A Ferrari.
So I've told her that a couple times. You know what? Your education is going to be this. So go ahead. And then the
You
Summit,
take the Toyota out there.
the Toyota would be fine. The Summit Series, June 18th and 19th. Again, what do you expect from that?
Yeah, that'll be our points chase is tight. That's going to be race 5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and
We've done
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then we'll do 2 more. One weekend, 2 more races in September, and that's going to decide our team and the championships. It's going to come down to that, and then ANRA, of course, that'll be their second race,
Second
right?
race,
April, May, June. Yep. We'll come back.
Trying to remember,
again.
is that
No,
the- is
that's
that-
second?
that's the
third.
the second
April.
one.
We skip May, June. We'll go in August,
August, and
then
then
come
the-
back in October. So
October
that'll be
for
their
the-
second event. And that
October
should
is the
be-
national is the championship, and then
Yep.
is this one the is this
This is
the
considered the
spring
spring nationals.
Right. Okay,
but
spring nationals, right?
Yeah.
Because the summer nationals
August
are
is summer
August,
nationals, then October is the
Even
fall.
though summer is June 21st, isn't it? Or something?
Right? Yeah, it's all right. It's okay.
That's okay.
Summer's outside right now.
Summer is now,
Summer's here.
Today.
Summer's here.
Yeah, June 1st. Welcome to Bakersfield.
Yeah.
110. So you were talking to Do you have to, when you have high heat like that?
Yeah.
Fortunately, you can run in the evening.
Right.
But I mean,
Well, the street touring will. These 2 dates, the latter
They'll
dates,
run-
we won't. They'll
run.
be in the daytime.
any concerns about your cruise there when it's like 135, 140 degrees on the track?
Yeah,
Are they
we
kinda-
try and we take a little more breaks than we usually do, and kind of rotate some guys around and go upstairs and have their lunch and sit in the AC for
Right.
a while. So, and same thing for the competitors. We just try and get them suited up last minute, and then if anything happens on the track, we're down for a bit. We get them out of their cars and let them get some fresh air. And a lot of them are prepared. They've got cool suits and they've got water and stuff in their cars. So, just that time of year, we can't not race. We have to just make adjustments.
Right. I've been meaning to ask you about this too because this is one of the top of mind. We've talked about this before as well. The number of foreign folks that love to come to visit the track, and I've been noticing. I think either Matt or Robert Gibson have been posting photos occasionally. People who just show up from other parts of the country or world to see the track. How often does that happen for you guys? People who just kind of want to gaze upon it, and here it is.
It's certain times of year. This time of year, summers, we see a lot more, which is weird. Because it's I don't know what it is there for them, but it seems like summertime is when I think that's just when everybody's in full swing.
Yeah.
So a lot more people come over and they know they're going to catch stuff going on, but they're just showing up. We had a couple. I think were they Denmark? I forget. They were here a couple weeks ago and just showed up. We took them to the tower and
took them to the tower.
took
I saw
a picture
that.
of them. Yeah.
And what was their feedback to you? I mean, what was the attraction for them? Why did they,
they were just doing a tour. They'd been to a speed shop down south. They're just catching whatever they can catch, just hoping that something's going on. And they're just driving. They'd already driven. I think he told me they've already driven like 5,000 miles across the country. So they've been there and back, right?
That's
I mean,
a pretty good
almost.
trip.
So yeah,
Yeah.
just taking in whatever they can take that's automotive related. They got cars back home. They're in a car club. Most of them are in clubs and that kind of thing, and they're big in racing at home. They want to come here and see racing here too. So
Nice.
it's awesome.
So does that ever lead you to think? We're talking about building the tower and everything. I know we have to get to a break here, but do you ever think about permanence of hey, maybe we should have like a little museum or an
that'd be
expanded
great.
gift shop?
Yeah.
See, that's how we come together for this show. We come
Right.
out here to just articulate ideas and
Figure out ways to spend our money.
Exactly.
That's great.
give you guys something to do. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, the easiest way we talked about it before is our online store, which we're slowly building, and we're going to launch it just before we see a real huge traffic on our website at the reunion and the March meet. So it starts to ramp up once we get into summer. It starts to build up slowly.
So I
we're
can
gonna
get that
launch
cool
our
shirt
store
you have
then.
on now.
I like this one.
Yeah, that is a good looking shirt.
Yeah.
I saw a March Meet shirt at the Padre the other day.
Did you?
It was
That's cool.
a classic one too. It was beautiful.
It's always fun to see them
Yeah.
those around when
Yeah,
you're
it
somewhere.
is cool to see them. So,
Yeah.
Very good. Griffith, questions, comments, complaints?
No, none.
Are you happy?
I'm elated.
All right.
Couldn't be better.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more on the from the Kern County Raceway Park and Steve Hughes. Talk more about them. Thanks to Blake Bowser. Thanks to Matt for being here. Talk to you guys next time.
Kern County Raceway is really cooking as we start racing in the month of June with Pit Barrel Cooker Night at the Races this Saturday night. NASCAR late models, NASCAR spec mods, NASCAR mini stocks, INEX legends, and the future stars of racing, the mini dwarfs. The original Pit Barrel Cooker, the official cooker of Kern County Raceway, sponsors a great night of racing action at KCRP. Grab your friends and family and get to the track for an amazing night of racing and family fun. Brought to you by Budweiser, Jimbert Ford, and Coca-Cola.
I was the Metro columnist in the Bakersfield Californian for 10 years, and one of the recurring themes in my writing was sort of the self-analysis of Bakersfield. Who are we? Who are these people? Where do they come from? What kind of people are they? My interest in the Bakersfield sound is kind of connected to that because we are those people. We are the people who created that music. We are the people who enjoyed that music, who bought those records. Because it spoke to us in a certain way, it sort of reflected who we are. Read this book and you get a feel for, who we are.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, transportation, and more. Visit kernbusinessjournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly business journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
This
See, we got it right, and Lewis is looking at his phone.
This is how
if
we
you've got the
roll.
magic touch,
Steve,
you're
Steve
going to
used-
lower the temperature on Saturday from the high of 107 to 87.
Yes. Well, here's the deal. At Kern County Raceway, when gates open at 5, 90% of our grandstand is in the shade. So in the grandstand, it's going to be about 87 degrees, regardless of what time you come out to the races. Now, on the track, we don't really care about the drivers and how much they suffer and how hot it is inside the race cars. But as long as the fans are comfortable and drinking plenty of Budweiser, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
That is the nice thing about KCRP is you do have that shade.
Yeah.
But for the pit crews and for everybody else in the infield, it's gonna be tough.
Well, we're going to have a couple of cooling stations down there in the pits. American Safety provides us with this huge misting fan and an easy up there. So that's going to be a very crowded area between races, I can tell you that. And then we're going to have a couple of those cooling stations up in the grandstands as well.
Absolutely.
So we're doing everything we can, and plenty of Dasani water and Powerade and ice cold Coca-Cola up there for you to stay hydrated.
And pit barrel cooking.
Pit barrel cooker
Pit
night.
barrel
And
cooker
what an
night.
appropriate day for pit
Yeah, we
barrel
are cooking
cooker night.
on Saturday night. Yeah, Pit Barrel Cooker Night at the races. This is a product that was developed here in Bakersfield by Amber Glanville and her husband Noah Glanville, and Amber's from Bakersfield, California. They moved to Colorado and started manufacturing there, and then now live in Louisville, Kentucky, and manufacture their product there. It's all made in the United States, but
Nice.
was developed and the idea was done here in Bakersfield. I used to work with Amber at Buck Owens Productions. She and I started on the sales team on the same day. Anyway, it's a great product. It's the original pit barrel cooker. It's patented. Don't settle for any imitators.
I think I saw one of these
yeah,
at the
the pit barrel cooker is the original.
at the home show, and I was so impressed with it. I totally picture what you're talking about.
Well, it's a hanging type.
Yeah, right.
It's not a barbecuer. It's not a smoker. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And it makes me like an expert barbecuer. I mean, all my stuff turns out tender, juicy, tri-tip. It doesn't matter what I put in
Right.
there. It tastes unbelievable. And you use this hook system is what I like to use. They also have a grill grate, like a traditional barbecue. But I can hang like 4 tri-tips in there. Hour and 30 minutes later, man, I got 4 perfectly smoked and barbecued tri-tips.
Nice.
They're awesome, yeah.
Griffith, remember that for our 4th of July.
Absolutely,
celebration.
absolutely. And we're going to give one. We're going to give away a pit barrel cooker
very
at the end
nice.
of the season. So we qualify a winner each and every race night.
Love it.
At the end of the season on October 29th, we'll have 20 qualifiers. We're going to invite them all out to the races and give away our pit barrel cooker on October 29th.
So this weekend we got the late model twin 35.
We're only going to do a single race
Single
this
race?
time, late
Okay.
model single, 40 lapper.
All right.
So
Very
I'll
nice.
correct you there.
Okay.
Sorry I didn't get a hold of you earlier.
Okay. Spec mods,
Mm-hmm.
mini stocks, legends, and mini dwarfs.
Absolutely. Great night of racing.
And we got Eric Brust here, who's in the spec mod, the most resilient class yet at Kern County Raceway Park is the spec mod.
Rising from the Phoenix, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Eric drives the number 4 spec mod, and I've known Eric for what 30 years now, going on
Nice.
30 years. He's a great supporter of the racetrack, and I want him to kind of talk about his season so far. And I'm just so glad that he decided to come back because about middle of the off season, weren't really sure we were going to get Eric back at the racetrack, but he's come back very, very strong. Eric?
Oh yeah, I like I've said in the start of the year, I'm having a good season. I just, like I told you at the beginning, I've never quit anything. Racing's frustrating for one.
Yeah.
Especially for me, for someone who I I don't know a whole lot about it when I got started racing cars.
Right.
So, I came from dirt bikes. So each race, I'm getting better. Each year, I'm getting better and better. So this year, I think I got a handle on it. My car's pretty consistent every night. So I just keep sticking it out. I'll be good.
And you got some financial help this year.
Absolutely.
You actually got some sponsors. First couple of years,
Yeah.
Eric was financing this thing himself.
Right.
Absolutely. Pure Bliss Salon right there on Hegman. Nails by Patty. Your Way Fumigation, 3G rebar. My biggest supporter and help is Steve Portengay. And obviously my girlfriend Tanya. Those two have really made this for me this year as consistent as it is. So
everyone talks so highly of Steve Portengay, but what has he done for you, in your development as a driver?
Steve Portengay, he obviously he's busy with Blaine and his K&N team.
Right.
But the good thing with Steve is he's right down the street from my house. I have any questions, he's right there for me. Chris Sager is right down the street. They're all right down the street from my house. Honestly, literally, it's 3 blocks.
Right.
So I have that in my back pocket. And so anything that I've needed or had any questions on my car, he's been more than willing to help me. So that's been the biggest thing for me.
And I'll tell you, it's kind of his fault that I'm here in this seat right now.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I want to hear this story.
Let's rewind the clock 25 years. Eric and I and a good friend of ours, Tim Lynch, played adult league baseball together.
Okay.
And I would sit on the bench and I would go through all these.
This is not softball. This
this
is
is adult league baseball.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I like the story already.
And I'm a humorous guy, and baseball games are long, drawn out deal. So anyway, so we're having fun, and I'm always doing these announcer voices, and I'm probably 22, 23 years old, and Eric and Tim get involved with Bakersfield Yamaha at the time, and they're going to put on a motocross race out at the Bakersfield Speedway.
Okay.
And so Eric and Tim, they say, hey, Steve, Nakahoma is my nickname. They say, hey, Nakahoma, we want you to come out and be our announcer for this motocross race. And I said, dude, I've never announced races before. He says, well, yeah, you're great, man. Well, just do whatever you do, man. Like in the dugout in baseball. I'm like, okay, I'll get it going. So we went out there, had a great time, great turnout. It was a great event.
Absolutely.
And just so happened, Doug Baton, the promoter at Bakersfield Speedway at the time, just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Well, he comes up. I think it was a 2-day deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, Saturday.
So Sunday afternoon or whatever it was, he says, hey, Steve, I like the way you sound on the microphone. Would you consider coming to work for us at the Bakersfield Speedway? That was 1993, right?
Right.
So I say, yeah, I've never announced before. He says, well, come on out, man. We'll get you hooked up with Mike Mosier, and it'll be great. So these guys kind of started me on they started me on the road.
They encouraged you.
Well, no, they gave me my shot, man.
Yeah.
And so, and the rest is history. And I carry that story with me all the time. Eric and Tim getting me started in this whole announcing deal.
So maybe they were like, they just wanted to be rid of you of the baseball dugout too. Man.
Yeah.
No,
It was good. It was fun.
No, he was good. He could play ball too. So I believe
Good.
first base.
Yeah.
He does
good.
well, and he's done really good with this announcing deal. I'm really proud of him. He's taken this and ran with it, and he does a great job.
Nice.
We're very fortunate to have him over there at Kern County. He's wonderul job.
Wow.
You do a great job.
Well,
No doubt
I'm
about
almost
it.
as red as my shirt. Well,
Absolutely.
and it's guys like Eric that has made it to victory lane out at Kern County Raceway before, but we don't hear a lot about him, and that's what we're going to start utilizing the Power Hour for is getting these racers. Getting the word out that these racers are great guys. They're great supporters of the racetrack. And Eric's the guinea pig. It was actually his idea. He says, man, tell me a little bit more about this Power Hour deal.
Yeah.
I said, well, here in a couple weeks, I'll get you on. And he reminded me on Tuesday night, say, hey, don't forget,
right?
I'm still, open to come on. Well, let me find out if we can get you on. So it worked out. But,
Always welcome.
So this is the open invitation. Call Steve Hughes if you'd like to come on the Power Hour. We do it every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. On Bakersfield.com, all you racers out at Kern County Raceway, if you guys want to come on with me, just meet me down here, and
I think
you get to get on the Power Hour.
The thing I love about about motorsports is, and Mike and I've talked about this many times, is that you guys work, and then your hobby is work, and I kind of like that, I kind of so like. I basically, by the time that my day is done here at the Californian, and when I go out and when I have time to go out and cover a motorsports event, that's sort of like almost like a hobby for us. And we like to just, like, Griffith hates me when we go out to do stuff, because we just work hard the whole time. Not as hard as I think as you guys do, but I love that sort of passion. So, what is your 9 to 5 day like? And then how much time do you put in on your hobby, basically?
I work at UPS.
Okay.
So I work in the morning.
Right.
And then, like I was telling Sam, I don't have to go and work out when I get off work.
Yeah.
I work at UPS, so
you work hard every day.
Man,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and then when I get off there, I'm very fortunate to have who I have in my life.
Right.
With my girlfriend Tanya. She works at a local hospital here. So I do things around the house and then I work on my race car.
Right.
So I'm very fortunate and very blessed in that matter. So you're right though. When I get done working, I'm working, so it never stops.
Absolutely.
We want to give a shout out to Tanya Baker and all the race girlfriends and wives out there that, it's team effort, man. Can't do it alone.
Right.
And shout out to Dylan Baker graduating and Racing Vernon graduating this weekend
Yeah,
as
I
well.
was going to say a good shout out to Racing.
Racing.
Because we all know Racing likes racing more than schooling. And on Facebook, he was talking about he's going to graduate, and I thought, good deal for Racing
Good
for
job,
getting
Racing.
through
Good
it.
kid.
Well, let me tell you what that means. If you know graduate, you know racing.
Right.
So he graduates, so he can continue racing.
And
So,
that's good for him to.
Yeah.
Because,
absolutely.
He's been pretty much. He was in here and he talked about he's not much for the schooling.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Dylan. If you guys ever had the privilege of meeting Dylan,
Dylan,
I think we've had Dylan
Man.
on once before. I think last year he was
last
on.
year,
Yeah.
He'll be going to CSUB.
Nice.
And his plans is he wants to be a pharmacist. So that kid.
He's a nice kid too.
Absolutely.
And he works in the infield, doesn't he? Or did
Yes.
he? Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Well, when he's not racing.
He's not
If
racing.
he's not racing, he's working out there.
Or
at
if
KCRP.
he's not working at Albertsons.
Or if not working at Albertsons.
Yeah.
If you ever met,
it's-
this guy works and works and works and works and works.
Gotta love
I don't
that.
know where he's got his energy, but man, I wish I had a little bit, half of it. This guy, he's unbelievable.
Hey, how is the class? I mean, you guys are all competitive. We had the big crash last year, which we thought was like, oh no, this is the worst thing ever. And we came back, but my experience with your drivers is those are all quality people over
Well,
there.
I'll talk from my
Yeah.
side, and then
Yeah.
I'll let Eric
Yeah.
take it over.
Yeah.
From what we're seeing, when you have from first place back to eighth place, a tenth and a half in the top 8 cars, that tells me the parity is getting just closer and closer and closer. And by saying that, I have to thank Shane Thompson and his crew for
Absolutely.
not only just helping out the cars, that he owns and that he runs, but helping out the entire class, just getting better and better and better. Now, we did make a couple of rule changes in the offseason, which to help out the handling of the race cars.
Yeah.
But everybody's just getting better and better.
Absolutely. For one, Shane Thompson is basically
He's the godfather of the
is-
spec mod division.
This guy, he's great. Not only will he help the 2 cars that he is responsible, actually 3 or 4, I believe, and won the past 3 championships. So this guy's been around. He knows what's going on, and not only does he help with his guys, he helps everyone in the class. And what's great about it is absolutely everyone that he has helped, they have run better.
Nice.
Or they have won. So, big shout out to that guy. He really is a help to this
I mean,
class.
he's even helping Jason Galvin.
Yeah.
I mean, that says something right
Yeah,
there.
what are we gonna
I mean,
do?
Come on.
That speaks to his character.
That
Yeah.
speaks to
And
his character
and patience.
Yeah.
How do you deal with Jason Galvin? That's what we get. That's really the big story.
I haven't dealt with him too much, just for the very first race. Very first race, he comes up to me. He's all, man, I know you're going to start well, and I don't know. This is my first time, so take it easy on me here. So that guy,
He had a lot of pressure. He missed the shift in that
he
first
missed
race.
the shift.
Yeah,
Yep. But he held his own. I believe he ended up second that night.
Yeah,
So no, he's
yeah.
doing just fine. Our class. Last year, I want to say we had 7 or 8 different winners in our
Yeah.
class last year.
Right.
So, and I think that our class is one of the most consistent car counts each and every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a great class.
I think it's fun. I think it's a fun class to watch. I mean, and basically, we talked about this before. Is that the parody is something that we like to see because it makes it for exciting coverage for our standpoint too. You know, hey, this guy won this week, and oh, this guy won that week, and
Well, so far we're 2 for 2, 2 races, 2 winners in the Spec Mod division, kind of following what we did last year.
Yep.
With I think we had 11 races and seven different winners.
That's crazy.
So excited about this weekend. Buddy Shepard going for his 4th in a row. We're going to see a couple of new late models out there this weekend. Spec mods are going to be exciting. That mini stock class with Destiny Joplin giving up her prom night to go racing and then getting her first win as the reward on
Yep,
that.
not bad.
Pretty big. She leads the points there. Our Legends cars are always exciting, and I don't know about you guys. I know Griff has an opposite view of this, but I love the mini dwarfs.
Hey, I'm going to be down in their pits with them.
Good.
See if I can find somebody that'll.
he's got a
talk.
project he's working on.
We got a
Yeah,
project
that's what
I'm
I hear.
working on.
Yeah, that's cool,
So the
man.
mini dwarfs are fine.
The
I
future
got
stars
actually
of
some-
racing.
Got some
Well-
good video of Chloe putting her gloves on when she had before her main event when she had the roof open and stuff. So some pretty good video.
I think it's interesting too because if you look at the senior mini dwarfs, especially the girls are so good and dominant in that in
Competitive.
at both tracks.
competitive.
Very competitive.
Very competitive, and
Yeah, they are competitive.
I think that's good for the sport. I mean, I think it's good for
and
racing.
Kiersey, and she will tell you, 10 wins,
Yep.
and
10
she's going
wins,
for number
right.
11.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's also
Yeah, she that's a big deal for her. She's focused out there, no
Think
doubt.
about putting a bounty out on her.
Oh yeah, you love that.
Good
that
luck.
always works out well. Then you put one on her.
I've
You're
met
gonna,
her family too. I'm good friends with her family. I don't think I want to do
you're
that.
gonna have to put one on McClenny and Bandles too.
Yeah,
then.
Yeah.
no doubt. Yeah. And Shepard, look out.
Shepherd.
I mean, but it's going to be good. Again, you're in the shade when you're out at Kern County Raceway. Almost from the time we start qualifying the cars, grandstands are in the shade. We'll have cooling stations and plenty. I'm telling you, plenty of ice cold Budweiser to keep
Hey,
you.
and better yet,
keep you hydrated.
are there suites still available on occasion?
course.
See, that's where you need to
Just
go.
call me.
Right.
Get the suites. Give this guy a
Yeah.
call.
We've even got we're gonna launch something new. It's kind of been sitting up there in turn number 1. We call them trackside party shacks. Holds about
Here.
10 people.
Nice.
There's 3 of them up there. You get your own little private area.
I was
so
wondering what those were.
yeah, that's what it is. They're air conditioned, and you can hang out in there with the kids. So
And I think before we go, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Charlie Beard, the principal
Absolutely.
owner of KCRP, passed away and his services last week, and well attended out there in Taft.
certainly was. Certainly
Yeah,
was.
you
It
know,
was a great service.
Man, my condolences to you and his family. I read this gentleman's deal in the paper.
Obituary, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What this gentleman
and
has
Charlie
accomplished
Beard,
in
and
his
there
life.
was one of the things they had a lot of stuff out there in the lobby of the church, and one of them was one of his drawings for it looked like some sort of well fitting, and it was from the early '60s, and a hand drawn little like a relief valve or something, I imagine, and it's just. As somebody said at the service, he was an engineer without the degree.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he made a tremendous impact on the racing community and in the oil fields, and I know a lot of the racers were grateful for his contributions to get KCRP up and running with the help of James Vernon as well. So,
Yes.
yeah, tremendous loss for this community as well. We're gonna take a break. Thanks, Eric Brush, for coming in. Steve Hughes, always good to see you.
Thanks, man.
We'll
Thank
talk to you guys soon again. Coming up next, Bakersfield Speedway recap from last weekend. We'll be right back with more here on the Bako Motorsports Power Hour. Welcome back to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour, brought to you by the Bakersfield Californian. I'm Louis Amestoy, the Vice President of Content of the Bakersfield Californian and the editor of the newspaper. I'm not Steve Hughes, but there I am. I'm your host today. Steve Hughes was just with us, and we were talking to him. We have some scheduling issues, so I think Steve's going to probably host next week for sure. And he'll do a great job, no doubt about it. Maybe we'll get Jason Galvin to come in too, as well.
That might be able to get
good.
Jason Galvin, and we can. When
Steve Hughes and Jason Galvin
I'm gone,
come in.
you're gone. That would work.
Because you know what? I mean, that's the thing. It's like he was saying that people want to talk about motorsports. It's the height of their season, and they're excited about it. So Mike Griffith is here with us. Scott Schweitzer had something come up, couldn't make it today for the Speedway segment, but that doesn't matter. We've got photos. We got Tom Mock photos. We got
Tom Mock
videos.
photos. We should be showing some Tom Mock photos.
Coming up this weekend is the USAC Western States Midgets, the Modifieds, American Stocks, Mini Stocks, USAC Micro Series, and general admission is $16 this weekend. Military $14, and seniors are $14. Kids 6 to 12 are $6. 5 and under are free. And as always, Mike Griffith.
Parking is free. I don't think there's going to be much camping.
No, not this weekend. It's too hot. So if you want to camp, though, it is free for you.
Little thing on the USAC Western States Midgets. I can spit that out. Rodney Gardner won the last race here and is 3 for 3 this year. So he's coming off a win in Ventura, the last race for the Midgets. Corey Elliott out of Bakersfield finished second at Ventura last week. So you should have maybe 4 or 5 Kern County people for this
In that
race.
class.
Terry Nichols out of Delano finished third in Bakersfield, the last race here. So some local interest in that. And they had the midget count has been good. There were 22 cars at the Speedway for the last race, 23 down in Ventura. That's the largest car count in a long time for the midgets. So we'll see if that holds as the summer goes on.
Modifieds have seen a lot of parity. Kyle Heckman, I think, won the last modified
he
race.
doubled up, became the first 2-time winner in that division. Ethan Dotson is the points leader, and Ethan, I don't know if he'll be here this week or not. I know he's leaving, as he did last summer when school gets out. He's going back to Iowa to live and work back there for the summer, get a lot of racing and really help his development.
Right. So we had Sport Mods running over the weekend. Spain Howard.
Last year's champion got 1 win last year and won the championship and won this race. And said the problem earlier this year has not been the car. It's been between the steering wheel and the seat, and he's got that problem figured out.
What do you think his problem was exactly?
Apparently, he was just having a hard time driving it. And he's got it figured out. He kind of inherited the lead here when the leader went out midway through the race. And once he got out front, he was pretty much gone. So good win for Nick. Adds another winner to that list. And as usual, the lots of 2 and 3 wide racing in the class.
The sport mod class has just been exciting all of the time, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the modifieds too, right?
Yeah, and a good run for Gary Dutton. He's the point leader, had to start toward the back, and he come up through the field. And a good charge at the end. He gained 5 or 6 spots in the last 8 or 10 laps, I think. He really charged to the front. Brian Holder with a good third-place finish. Wayne Kaufman with a 4th, so he's coming on strong. So pretty good night there.
All right, we'll move on now. I believe these are mini stocks.
Yeah, those are the mini stocks there. And you got the 1, 2, 3 car out front here early in the race. It's Misty Warren. She was in here promoting the chair with the autism night a while back.
Right.
She came in to help promote out autism. And a little reward here for her do-good-deed.
So, I mean, it's interesting that the women continue to dominate the mini stock class. I mean,
Yeah, she got out front, and you can just see here, she's just pulling away, and it continued all night long. She just ran away and hid from the rest of the field. And the mini stocks, the last race out, they were down in cars. Like, there were quite a few less than had been, and Saturday night, they were back up to a good number of race cars. Some went out early. Ended up with big win for Misty, though, and she was very, very pleased, very happy. So good for her.
Congratulations to Misty Warren with the win there in mini stocks. There's the Tom Mock photo, if you couldn't tell already. There you go. And then a big hug and a win and some of the reactions.
She was pretty happy. She was elated.
So there is the top 9. Schwarzenberger's name is so long that it breaks our template.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. So you've got the top 6. Obviously, there's 3 guys 3 women in the top 6, and that's kind of how it is. So
Absolutely. Great field there. Moving on to the American stocks. And
Yeah.
they got the
Or these
pro
are-
stocks.
these are the IMCA stocks.
IMCA stocks, right.
IMCA stocks where you got there, and
Not a big
large,
car count,
nope.
but
And this is supposed to be growing, and we'll see that Mike Hill, little bump right there on the
Ouch.
very first lap. But Mike Hill Jr., who's back there in the white car,
yeah.
he used to be in the 159, and now that's Devin Jones is driving for him. So he's got three of his cars out of this. Is Devin Jones there in the 159, Mike back there who cut a tire and went and came back and did okay, Dave Bauer up there on the wall, and then of course Steven Johnson, who will be coming through here in the 126. He's back there, and he took his time. Once he got out front, it was bye-bye for Mr. Johnson. So another win for him, but pretty good racing until Johnson took over the point.
Here's some of the photos from this stock race, and strange enough, there's no Gills transmission photos in that particular sequence there. Steven Johnson with the win. Here's your top 10 or top 7 finishers: Steven Johnson, Troy Patey, Devin Jones, Mike Hill Jr., and Matt Brumley running out the top 5. Moving on to the Mod Lights, and Jerry Flippo continuing to dominate this class.
Yeah, it took a while. And interesting here, Mod Lights. Kylie Forrester started up front and was running up front for quite a while. Led the first 6-7 laps.
Now, did she finally have the horsepower restrictions lifted on her?
It's looking like she did here.
Okay.
I mean,
Because
obviously
she was
she's
only
cute.
she's only like 10, right, or 11?
11 or 12 now, I think.
Yeah.
And she, her dad Zach had her a little
kind of
underpowered
underpowered,
there
right?
to learn, but I think he may have lifted the restrictions here, and she did quite the job here. But these other guys eventually got to her, and you can see Flippo just the 13 car back there taking his time, and eventually he got out there, got the lead, and pulled away for the win.
All right, Grumpy Griff. I mean, you're one that we talk about something all the time, but what are you feeling about with this class?
14 years old, by the way.
Jerry Flippo.
Yeah.
What are you feeling
Out
about
of
this
mini
class?
dwarfs. It seems to settle in at about this number of cars, and it's competitive. You got Jerry Flippo, Anthony Balcazar. I talked to him in the pits before the race. Finished second the week before. Finished second. He's knocking on the door. Caden Cochran.
He's going to get a win, I think, at some point because
Cheyenne
he's
Flippo. Yeah, look at this. It's just a lot of youngsters here, so that's great.
Right. Cheyenne Flippo, Kylie Forrester. Cheyenne's the younger sister of
and
Jerry.
Zach wasn't racing. He injured a wrist in San Maria the week before, and so his right wrist was wrapped. So
Again, I mean, a fun
he was
class.
working in there in the pits. Quite a compound down there with a lot of around the Zach Forrester pits on a mod light night with mini dwarfs. There's mod lights everywhere and mini dwarfs everywhere.
All right, so here we go, and this is the
California dwarf cars.
Right, California dwarf cars.
The big dwarf cars.
Those are fun.
Those are they're a fast little car on the racetrack, and John Isabel came away with the win there.
There's your top 10 with Isabel on the win, Figaro in second, Billings in third, Sargent in fourth, and Autry in fifth. And
These
the
are
mini
the
dwarfs.
junior mini dwarfs, I believe, here with Jet Yantis. This was
They just push each other out of the way, don't they?
Oh yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, there's a little beating and banging and going on. You see Mason Ratcliffe there in the green car, and
You're tied
there's
up.
spins everywhere. And early on, and then it kind of settles down as it usually does. It is a settle down, and they start running a lot of green
Is
flag
that green
laps.
lights under that thing? That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
that's Hank Hall's. His parents
I love
are
that.
into the off-road racing. They got the green LED lights in there.
That's cool.
And great job negotiating that little pile up
Yeah.
in turn one by those kids, by the way.
It's kind
But,
of amazing, like how they kind of figure it out. And by the way, Harvick's kid continues to show interest in racing based on their Instagram videos they keep posting. But it's interesting how quickly a child picks up how to drive a car. It's amazing.
Oh yeah,
to
when
me.
you put them in there, and you got on the senior mini dwarfs, Chloe Jones. She came through the field, good win, good solid finish by Kiersey there. So 2 girls on top. Lane McDonald, Seth Wise spun out early, like on the first lap, went all the way to the back. So a 4th place finish for Seth was a pretty good drive, and Roddy Millard. So you've got there you go, 3 out of the top 5.
And Jet Yanis in the junior mini dwarfs is
he's
kind of
been,
separating from everybody there.
Yeah,
Definitely in all
he
area
got it
kid
late.
now.
Hank Hall led a lot of that race, and Brody Graham, solid race there by the 18 car and the 57 of Hank, and Jet came on late and got the win. Then Mason Ratcliffe went to the back on it and came back through the field.
It's interesting how there's more boys in the junior mini dwarfs, which is like what 8 and 9 year olds, if not even younger.
Well,
Some 8 and under, right?
5 to 8.
5 to 8,
Five,
right?
5 to 8, and you know what? Yeah, it seems like right now there's more boys in the juniors, and you can see in the seniors, they all used to be juniors.
Right.
And they're getting older, and a lot of the seniors are 10, 11, 12 years old, so they're going on the verge of taking the next steps.
And that would be probably going to the mod lights, I would think.
Mod
too.
lights, or if they want to get into a mini stock or something like that, or bandolero out at KCRP, as Kiersey Young is doing a
Moving into,
bandolero.
right. All right, great stuff as always. Mike Griffith, thank you so much for being here. Looks like we're not sure yet on our show programming for next week, but check our Facebook page. Looks like the only Steve Hughes will probably be hosting the show next week. So we'll get you more updated on that. We're going to post this on our Facebook page. Enjoy it. We hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining us here on the Power Hour.